Peace to everybody. This is about another conflict of interest pop up in Kim Foxx's handling of Jussie Smollett case. And as you can see here is Kim Foxx, who is works for the Cook County District Attorney's Office. The Cook County judge set to decide whether a special prosecutor should be appointed to investigate why charges were dropped against Empire actor Jussie Smollett has a son who works in the state's attorney's office. So now they want to. So now the judge has to decide whether or not to hire a special prosecutor to look into Kim Foxx's claims and that, because now they're because as long as they're accusing her of dropping Jussie Smollett's charges, they're just going to do everything they can to bash her. The news sets up another potential conflict of interest with State's Attorney Kim Foxx's office and its handling of the controversial case. So now they got another potential conflict of it, and it's all going towards Kim Foxx. But the Chicago Tribune, they twist words around to lie on people. That's what they do. Judge Leroy Martin Jr. addressed a petition Thursday filed by retired appellate Judge Sheila O'Brien, who recused herself and assigned the case to a judge outside Cook County. So now they got another judge that was assigned to this case, and because Sheila O'Brien had recused herself from being on this case. Martin's son, Leroy Martin III, is an assistant state's attorney who has worked under Fox for more than a year. He was hired in April 2018. Yeah, so it's been over a year since he worked for Fox. And he's the one that's allegedly handling the case. You're going to be deciding whether Fox, your son's boss, is telling the truth, O'Brien told Martin. Yeah, so now the judge has now saying that it's either he's telling the truth or not. Martin said he would decide whether to recuse himself and set the next hearing on the matter for May 10th. I think it is a problem, CBS 2 legal analyst Irv Miller said about Martin presiding over the case. She's the son's employer. She controls his son's pay promotions. That's why there is an appearance of impropriety. So now Martin has got to decide whether or not to recuse himself or not because of the hearing that's coming up May 10th. And of course, with Jussie Smollett, his charges been dropped, his records has been sealed. And now Miller had told Martin that he's got to preside over the case, but that depends on how he wants to do it, whether or not he's got to recuse himself. O'Brien has also asked for a special prosecutor to delve into the behind-the-scenes decision-making process in the Smollett case. So now you gotta ask for a special prosecutor. Why do that? Because you have all the prosecutors that you need to have all these charges. And as you can see here is Jussie Smollett. He plays Jamal Lyons on Empire, but he's for the last two episodes, he's been written out of that episode. So because of this alleged fake attack that the Chicago police are accusing him of. Fox has publicly said she'd welcome an independent probe into her office's decision to dismiss a 16-count indictment against Smollett, who is accused of staging a hate crime on himself. And Smollett was attacked on January 29th. He reported it to the police. They were doing a lot of investigations. Now the city of Chicago wants to sue Jussie Smollett for $130,000 plus another $130,000. So they want their $390,000 for all the taking the time out to investigate everything. However, she filed a motion on Tuesday opposing the call for a special prosecutor made by O'Brien. Her office filed two other motions that day as well. One seeks to quash subpoenas for Fox and her top assistant Joseph Maggots and prevent O'Brien from requesting additional subpoenas. The other seeks the court's permission to allow Fox's office and the county inspector general access to records that were sealed at the same hearing where prosecutors dropped all charges against Smollett. So now they want to get his records unsealed and see what the charges are. And that depends on who's going to give permission to unseal the records and see the charges on Jussie Smollett's record because they've been dropped, record sealed, nothing can do about it really, and now they want to throw a subpoena in the middle of everything just to look at his charges. The decision to drop the charges during an unannounced March hearing sparked outrage from the Chicago Police Department as well as outgoing Mayor Rahm Emanuel, who blasted the move as a whitewash for justice. Well, first of all, Rahm Emanuel is not mayor anymore. Eddie Johnson for the Chicago Police Department, he's whacked out of his mind. And, this just goes on and on and on with all the garbage that they're trying to do. They're trying to get him in jail for 30 years. And, Jussie's not going to go because he had a certain amount of time to pay such and such thing. That came and went. He wasn't paying nothing, which I don't blame him. Now Rahm Emanuel is claiming that it's a whitewash of justice. How is it a whitewash of justice if your charges are being dropped and your records are being sealed? How is that? I tell you, those between Rahm Emanuel and Eddie Johnson, those two have to get out of business for real. They don't belong there. President Trump also weighed in on the case, calling it an embarrassment to our nation in a March 28 tweet. So that's what he called it, an embarrassment because of what's going on. O'Brien's petition calls out Fox's handling of the case for saying she recused herself in the early stages of the investigation because she was in contact with a family member of Smollett, only to claim recently that her recusal was not a recusal in the legal sense, which would have required her entire office to withdraw from the prosecution. So Kim Foxx reached out to one of Jussie Smollett's family members by texting, emailing, and now it's going to come down to whether or not they're going to withdraw the. Well, I don't blame her for recusing herself from the case, but now they want O'Brien's petition calls out for Fox's handling of the case, and it's kind of ridiculous. O'Brien claims Fox's comments and actions created a perception that justice was not served here, that Mr. Smollett received special treatment. How can Jussie Smollett receive special treatment? That's not true at all. He was treated like anybody else was. There was no special treatment for him. He's just a human being. That's what they see him. But giving him special treatment, no, that did not happen at all. Leave your comments below. I am out.